Hey everybody, this is Matt from Cincy Jungle. Today we are going to continue on with our 2020 positional previews, talking about a position group that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the cornerbacks. All right, so the cornerbacks. Now, look, the Bengals have had a lot of issues on defense over the past few years, in particular in the passing defense. And as a result of that, they went through a major overhaul in the secondary, and particularly at the cornerback position this year. So when we talk about the cornerback, we really have three starters at cornerback, all right? And that includes your slot corner. Of those three starters, William Jackson is the only returner in 2020. So that just goes to show you that, look, they saw a problem, they moved on from some guys, and they're bringing in a new crew, all right, to get this thing right. So let's talk about William Jackson. Let's start there for a second. Look, step back in the time machine and let's go back to how we felt about William Jackson before the defense started to have these great struggles. Remember, first round pick, missed his rookie season, came out in his second year, shut down Antonio Brown, peak Antonio Brown in 2 games, all right, when covering him man to man. This dude can play, all right. Doug Farrar ranked him as a top 10 main corner in the NFL just last year. All right. The guy can play, but there's been a lot of issues on defense. All right. There's been communication issues. All right. Which could to some extent come down to coaching. Okay. There's been some changes at coach. They have changed the positional coach at the cornerback position. Now we've got guys that know each other on this staff, that know the system, and a new coach coming in at corner. All right, at cornerbacks coach. So that's all good. We're moving on there. And we got new personnel. All right, so maybe these old guys had some things locked in their head. Maybe they were, they weren't listening. Maybe they weren't processing quite as well. And now the Bengals went out and got some really good players to plug into those spots. We've got 2 former Minnesota Vikings stepping into those positions. Trey Wayne's former first-round pick, and Mackenzie Alexander. So Wayne's heavy investment. The Bengals spent a lot of money to bring this guy in, all right, showing that they have a lot of confidence in this guy to be that number 2 guy opposite William Jackson, to step up, all right? So shows you they trust him to be able to process this. They trust his athletic ability, and they see him as a guy who can really turn this defense around with how much they invested in him. Mackenzie Alexander, all right? He's a guy that they trust as well. Got a great deal in his contract. Fantastic deal in his contract. But let's go back to Wayne's for a second. All right. So is Wayne's the answer? He's a former first round pick, awesome athlete, has some consistency issues. All right. Can run with just about anybody, but yeah, like top level speed. Tyreek Hill gave him a little bit of trouble. But again, we're talking about the number 2 corner. We're talking about the second guy. All right. Dre had problems in the same way with consistency. Dre also had problems with tackling. That is not going to be an issue for Wayne's. All right. Wayne's one of the better tacklers at the position in the league. So we have a good, solid tackler. Now, obviously, look, we all want corners to make plays on the ball. All right, me especially. I want picks, and I want deflected balls, and I want coverage that's so tight that quarterback isn't daring to throw the ball over there. That's what I'm really looking for. But when you're playing zone defense, and you're always playing zone defense sometimes, all right, you're not going to play man every single down. But when you're playing zone defense, balls are going to be completed. All right, you cover the deep ball. They're going to, working a leverage thing. You cover the deep ball. They're going to throw the shorter pass, and you got to be able to rally up there and make a tackle. That was a big issue that the Bengals had really in 2018. It was a huge issue that they had. All right, Wayne's will help with that. When stuff's completed underneath, he can rally to it. He can make those tackles. He's a good athlete, good in coverage. Can he be that consistent guy to really step up and take this defense to the next level? That's the big question here. But excellent tackler. And speaking of excellent tackler, Mackenzie Alexander. This dude, all right, per Pro Football Focus, he is the only defensive back, not just the only corner, the only defensive back in the NFL to play 500 snaps last year with zero missed tackles, all right? This dude can play. Now, that's huge, all right? Now, look, I think he's definitely a plus from what the Bengals had last year in coverage as well, all right? real good player in coverage. He's a plus in that way. I think we can expect to see him with consistency from an injury standpoint as well. And the tackling is huge because if you can trust him to tackle, if you have that player out there on the edge, you can trust to tackle from that nickel corner position. You can be in nickel or another substitution defenses more often. All right, and not the 3-4, not that base, that base look. And what this does is now you don't have to get into that heavy package because you're worried about stopping the run. You can stop the run out of nickel, and you're obviously better against the pass because you got a better athlete out there. So huge plus bringing in Alexander. He's on a 1-year deal, but it's a great value deal. Look for good things out of that guy. 38 tackles last year, played in 13 games. I found this one interesting too. 2 years ago, all right, 2018, he had 4 sacks, all right? So, maybe a guy that can do some things coming off the edge as a blitzer as well. So another guy that is actually returning, all right, who's very interesting and a fan favorite for us Bengals fans is Darius Phillips, right? Phillips had 4 interceptions last season, and he only played in 8 games, all right? This dude is a playmaker, all right? There's a reason Bengals fans love him, man. In college, he got the ball in his hands. We'll talk about this when we get into special teams, but when he get the ball in his hands, he is electric. He is crazy, all right? Returning punts, kicks, interceptions, all that type of stuff. 4 interceptions last year in a limited number of snaps, only starting 1 game, only playing in 8 games total. So expect some things from this guy. Expect him to get a chance as well. Speaking of interceptions, the Bengals brought in Winston Rose from the CFL. All right, 14 picks in the last 2 seasons in the CFL. Now, hey, I don't care what league it is. That is impressive. Plus, look, CFL, they've got a bigger field. All right, so there's more field to cover. There's more space out there. It's probably easier to not throw interceptions in the CFL as a quarterback. So being able to do that, man, that is very impressive. The guy has shown he can be a playmaker. It's going to be interesting to see if he can battle for some time, what he can do for the Bengals. We've also got Tony Brown coming in. 2 years experience for the Packers. We've got LaShawn Sims coming in. 4-year vet from the Titans. So look, it's not just about the 2 new starters. They were looking to overhaul this position. They were looking to do some different things, bring in some depth at this position, all right, and really almost start fresh, all right. They kept the guys they wanted. We got, we got Jackson back. You got Phillips back. You got some other guys in their back, but they made it a priority to redo this position from top to bottom, all right. Bring in new guys at the top level, bring in new depth pieces, and that's great. Like, it needed to happen. It definitely needed to happen. So it's going to be exciting to see what this group can do. Jackson can be a lockdown, shutdown, one of the top corners in the NFL. All right. He needs some things to come together around him. Trey Wayne, all right, former 1st-round pick. This dude can play, right? He can tackle, but he can run around. He can do well in coverage as well. Can he step up? Can he be consistent? Can he have a better processing than they've had at that position in the past? That would be huge. And then Mackenzie Alexander coming in. I mean, who would have thought with the luck, the skill that the Bengals have had at the slot corner position in recent years, that they'd be able to find another one so fast and for such a great deal. So, look, the cornerback position is going to be very interesting, and the success of the defense really relies on this position because I think they can do some other things up front. I think they've added some linebackers and things. Some of those young guys will develop, all right? But this is going to be huge. If this group can make a turnaround, that's going to establish Lou Anarumo and his defense, and it's really going to help them move to the next level. So thanks for checking out this video. Again, we will be coming in with position reviews from all the positions as we get into the start of training camp. So make sure you are coming back and checking all of those videos out. Appreciate you checking it out now. Look, hey, this is available on the download as well as YouTube. If you check it on YouTube, we get some video clips, some other things in there to kind of add to it. But if you're fortunate enough to be working and you got to commute, I get it, man. The download can definitely be easier, definitely be more convenient. So thanks again for checking us out, And who dey?
Red 7, hot route.